We received the report from the Registrar General of the High Court. Attorney, have you had a look at the report? Has that been? Would you like to have many copies? Attendance up to the door, so attendance up. It's just take you 2 minutes to see the report. Just give me only 1 second. I'll just.
That is all right. We'll share it. Section of what you've heard. Good master.
Mr. Attorney, would you like to briefly make any submission?
Yes. I've also seen the clippings myself. But I was wondering whether it would be an in-house procedure for whatever further things to be taken up. Instead of on the judicial side, you're looking at a larger framework. I know whether. I think so.
But I feel,
quite see what you are
I
saying.
feel, my lord, I personally, my lord.
But I've also looked at when I was in Bangalore, I had also spoken to members of the bar, not only about this incident, generally about the honorable judge and few other things. So I think you'll also get into a larger inquiry. It may have some other implications.
Lord, after the learned judge himself, my lord, clarifying, sometimes, my lord, we also say something, bench also says something. Only thing can be, my lord, that now we are under the gaze of the public, and on both sides we have to be a little careful, my lord. That's all. But I don't see, my lord, any reason to stretch it beyond that. That's my personal view, my lord, and assistance to your lordship.
On the attention of the court was drawn to media reports pertaining to certain comments attributed to Justice V Srishananda, a judge of the High Court of Karnataka, during the conduct of judicial proceedings. Stop. In this backdrop, a suo motu proceeding has been registered to stop on 20 September 2024. The Registrar General of the High Court of Karnataka was requested to submit a report after seeing administrative directions of the Chief Justice the High Court of Karnataka in regard to the subject matter of the suo motu proceedings. Yeah. A report dated 23 September 2024 has been submitted by the K.S. Bharat Kumar, Registrar General of the High Court of Karnataka, in pursuance of the above directions. The report deals with two proceedings before the judge, the first of which took place on 6 June 2024, the second on 28 August 2024. Full stop. As regards the first proceeding, before that we say the Registrar General has submitted a transcript, duly translated, a duly translated transcript together with his, as a part of his report, bearing in mind the fact that some part of the dialogue in the court had taken place in Canada. Full stop. The proceedings, the report, insofar as the proceedings of 6 June 2024 are concerned, contains the following, is set out below. A copy kar lo. The report also contains an elaboration. It contains a narration of the proceedings which took place on 28 August 2024 and is reproduced below. BB. Next. The High Court of Karnataka has notified the Karnataka rules on live streaming and recording of court proceedings 2021 with effect from 1 January 2022. Report of the Registrar General states that live streaming of the court proceedings is conducted in accordance with the rules and is transmitted through the official YouTube channel of the High Court of Karnataka. As of date, it has a subscription of 1,38,000 subscribers. So the High Court of Karnataka has also notified the rules for video conferencing for courts 2020 with effect from 25 June 2020 to regulate the conduct of court proceedings through the video conferencing mode.
That's very different.
Full stop. The video recordings in relation to the court proceedings on 6 June 2024 and on 28 August 2024 are a part of the video recording officially maintained by the High Court of Karnataka. Full stop. Next. After this court had taken suo motu notice of the above developments, of the above events on 20 September 2024, the court presided over by Justice V Srishananda assembled on 21 September 2024, and in the course of the post-lunch session, the judge in question proceeded to read out an address in the presence of the members of the bar, including the President, Secretary, and other office bearers of the Bengaluru Advocates Association. Full stop. The report of the Registrar General contains the text of what was stated by the judge in the course of the proceedings on 21 September 2024. Thus, CC copy kar lijiye. As in the case of the earlier two proceedings, the video clip containing the above part forms a part of the official video recording of the Karnataka, maintained by the Karnataka High Court. Full stop. The video recordings have been submitted to this court in a pen drive. Next. The proceedings which took place before the Court of Justice V Srishananda on 21 September 2024 indicate that the learned judge has indicated that bracket 1, certain observations made by him have been quoted out of context in the social media, semicolon, bracket 2. The observations in the course of the court proceedings were unintentional, and were not intended to hurt the feelings of any segment of society or any individual in particular, semicolon. In bracket 3, an apology is being tendered if any section of society or any individual, to invert commas, has been directly or indirectly hurt by the observations, into invert commas, made by the judge, into brackets, referring to the observations on 6 June 2024 and 28 August 2024. Full stop. Bearing in mind the contrite apology which has been tendered by the judge of the High Court in the course of the open court proceedings on 21 September 2024, we would intend to, we consider it in the interest of justice and the dignity of the institution to not pursue these proceedings further. Full stop. However, before concluding this segment of the proceeding, which could have been, or this segment of this part of the proceeding, would be necessary for this court to make some observations in general. Full stop. Since Justice V Srishananda is not present in this court, don't say that. We have consciously desisted from issuing notice to the judge of the High Court of Karnataka in the interest of maintaining the institutional dignity of our high courts and the judges who man them. Full stop. Conscious as we are of his absence in these proceedings, the observations which we make should not be, the observations which we make would be consistent with the need to preserve the dignity of the judicial system. Stop. Next. The prevalence and reach of the social media has included wide reporting of court proceedings. Full stop. Most high courts in the country have now adopted rules for live streaming, or as the case may be, for the conduct of video conferencing. Full stop. Emerging as a necessity in the course of the COVID-19 pandemic, video conferencing and live streaming of proceedings has emerged as an important outreach facility of courts to promote access to justice. Full stop. At the same time, all stakeholders in the judicial system, including judges, lawyers, and litigants, including parties and litigants, particularly parties in person, have to be conscious of the fact that the reach of the proceedings which take place in the court does not extend to merely those who are physically present, but has a significant reach to audiences well beyond the physical precincts of the court. This places an added responsibility on judges and lawyers, as well as litigants who appear in person, conduct proceedings, conscious of the wider impact of casual observations on the community at large. Full stop. As judges, we are conscious of the fact that each individual bears a certain degree of accumulated predispositions based on our experiences of life, whether early experiences or those which are gained later. Full stop. At the same time, it is important that every judge should be aware of their own predispositions. Full stop. The heart and soul of judging is the need to be impartial and fair. Full stop. Intrinsic to that process is the need for every judge to be aware of our own predispositions, because it is only on the basis of such an awareness that we can truly be faithful to the fundamental obligation of the judge to deliver objective and fair justice. Full stop. We emphasize this point because it is necessary for every stakeholder in the institution to understand that the only values which must guide judicial decision-making are those which are enshrined in the Constitution of India. Full stop. Casual observations may well reflect a certain degree of individual bias, particularly when they are directed against, particularly when they are likely to be perceived as being directed to a particular gender or community. Full stop. Courts, therefore, have to be careful not to make comments in the course of judicial proceedings which may be construed as being misogynistic or, for that matter, prejudicial to any segment of our society. Full stop. We are therefore of the view that the observations which were made in the course of the judicial, full stop. The text of the report which has been submitted by the Registrar General would amply indicate that the observations which were made in the course of the proceedings before the High Court of Karnataka were unrelated to the course of the proceedings and should have best been eschewed. Full stop. The perception of justice to every segment of society is as important as the rendition of justice as an objective fact. Full stop. Since the judge of the Karnataka High Court is not a party to these proceedings, we desist from making any further observations, save and except to express our serious concern about both the reference to gender and to a segment of the community. Full stop. Such observations are liable to be construed in a negative light, thereby impacting not only the support of the judge who expressed them, but the wider judicial system. Full stop. In this view of the matter, while we are inclined to close the proceedings, we have made these observations in the hope and expectation that the demands which have been placed on all stakeholders in the judicial system in the electronic age would elicit an appropriate modulation of judicial behavior, both on the part of the bar and the bench in the future. Full stop.
There's only one concern is
Shall stand concluded with these observations.
because I also happened to see some Twitter messages about all that. Absolutely vitriolic, without any understanding of what went on behind it. So I was only concerned that somebody does not take it as a handle to pursue any other. I only wish that it must be a matter of caution. There are people who would like to pick up anything they want and then go into the. There are all kinds of.
You're right.
Lordships.
But now you've seen the nature of the observation.
I seen that.
We can't call any part of the territory of India as Pakistan, because that fundamentally is contrary to the territorial integrity of the nation. One.
I would like to offer any comment on that. But
Anyway, social media can't be controlled.
Social media can't be controlled, and
the anonymity attached with the social media makes it a very dangerous tool.
But should I tell you, the answer to sunlight is more sunlight.
That's true.
Not to suppress what happens in the courts, because I think this is a very important reminder to everyone. And the answer is not to close doors and shut everything down, but to say that, look, please, now our reach extends beyond these four walls.
Certainly, I'm not suggesting that at all. Please say that's what happens.
But I think, we've expressed as far as we could have, and we'll leave it at that.
Go to that Mysore Road flyover. Every auto rickshaw has got 10 people. Every auto rickshaw has got 10 people. It is not applicable because the Mysore Road flyover till up to the market from Gauripalya is in Pakistan, not in India. This is the reality. This is the reality. ನೀವು ಎಂತಾನೇ ಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ ಆಫೀಸರ್ ಗಾರ ಹಾಕಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹಿಡಿದ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಅವ್ನು ನೋಡ್ತೀನಿ ನಾನು.